Ahoy and welcome back to another episode of Alchemy Factory with me, Ugg, on Broadside Gaming. So today we are going to make steel, or we're going to start making steel. And also as a reference, I went out for a long walk yesterday in the wind and I've got an ear infection, which is really annoying. So my right ear isn't working properly, but that's not something you really care about. Let's just get on with it. So the way we make steel... Steel's quite annoying to make, I think. Right, so we're going to need to get iron ingots, coke powder, and coke powder is... I'll talk about that in a second. So we've got iron ore, or iron ingots, coke powder, made in an anthanor. Anthanor? I don't know. And we get steel ingots 25% of the time, and we get iron ingots 75% of the time. So we're going to have to filter those out and get those sorted. And the way we make coke powder is we make, where is it? That's not mash, iron sand, coke powder. So we make coke powder out of coke and you put it in a grinder. Okay, but the way and coke is made of either charcoal powder, which is an anthanol, and you get a 50-50 chance of getting it. Quite sure why you do that. Or you get both, 50% of it, I'm not sure. Or you use coal and you guaranteed get coke. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So you either get 2 of those or 1 of those. Yeah. For 6 of those. But coal is like 4,200. So it is quite expensive. So I'm not 100% sure what I need to, what way is better, either making charcoal powder or using coal. I might just use coal because it's lazier and it's 100% chance and you just burn it in the crucible. I think I might do that. All right, but the thing we do need to make this all happen is I need to make charcoal to burn, to do all the reaction stuff. So to melt the iron, to create the, to burn the coal to make the coke, and then to burn the to use on the anthanol to make the steel. So I am going to go for a shiny, a new way of making charcoal. Like, so the first thing we're gonna do is make charcoal. And this is, like, depending on how I feel, this will probably be the first part of the video. You know, this will be the first bit, as it were, where we're going to just, you know, make. So we're probably going to go for our standard arrangement, and I'm probably going to build everything using all the difficult words are. They use a standard way of doing things. Yes, the standard way of. So that one is going to go in there. But I'm going to use these things, lab stands, just so we've got space. Also, a little thought. I'm always putting lifts in here. Why don't I just use lab stands like this? Is that a good idea? I don't know. We're going to try something different. Right. Lab stands. Lab stands up to here. Lab stands up to here. There. I know the problem is I know these aren't the perfect ratios, but I tell you what. They absolutely break my tiny little mind. The furnace stuff, the furnace bits. So basically we're going to put fuel in here, and then we are going to obviously do our normal method of just put in that charcoal is going to come out of here around into the fire there. Quite like that. Now, in my mind, the stuff's going to come out and the charcoal is going to come out on this side. There you go. So we need a table for wood. And then we're going to put annoyingly, I've got this rule. I don't like to put lifts because lifts block the flow through the design. So whilst I've got to do that one, I don't have to do. Okay. See, that's what I mean. The lifts block the flow. So if I wanted to, I can't go that way. I'd have to go round. So that's fine. I just don't like going all the way to the top. I know what I mean. I suppose it doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. We'll see how it goes. If it goes horribly wrong, we will change our ways and our mind. Like that. And then we need more of these. And then we need to just put in that. And these things are all going to be going over here again. We're literally just doing the same thing twice. I like it. Now the question is, how do I get the charcoal? Ah, see that's why I didn't want to do that. Right, we'll do that because the wood's got to come through, and I always like to do all my grinding on one table. Sounds wrong as well. Ooh. Like that. And that comes out here. That's absolutely fine to do. Like that. It comes out here, goes down there, and then we get charcoal. And we just need to get our grinders. And then because we're making charcoal over this side, same thing. So charcoal's going to come out there. Why are we doing that? Stop doing that. Stop being weird. Right, there you go. So that's the charcoal going in there. And then obviously we're going to have wood coming in over here to be turned into charcoal. Again, more charcoal. Coming in here. And we're going to build these up. Don't know why I'm doing it like that. And then we're going to build. I never build these quite the same way. I'm always looking for a nicer way to do it, but I don't know. That goes in there. And that. And now we look how we fuel it. So we've got to make it accessible. Like that. Like that. Yeah, because we're probably going to have stuck the wood, the logs are going to be going in like that. Oh yeah, so it's going to need 3 sources of wood, by the way. 3 sources of wood. All right. Can we get 3 woods on this table? Maybe. Oh, it's difficult. See, now I've got to work out. I get 1 wood in there, 1 wood in there, and 1 wood in there. So would it be wood? I'm sure you're like sitting at home going, I can work this out. It's easier. What are you concerning yourself with? Okay. I've been having some mullings on this. And one of the ideas is just try and maybe go with like stacked. I like the idea of the stacked. The stack things more. We're only 3, so look, if I put one like that, and then we put like that. And we put a beam across the top of them. I'll work out a nice way to do this. I'm really using beams. I have been fiddling a little bit, so I do have steel, but I'm not going to use it in this design because I'm going to appreciate that like at this point we really shouldn't have steel. So I suppose so. Look, I have got steel, but those things are pretty crazy. Like a double steel one. We haven't got that, but there you go. I don't mind building high. No, that's not what I want to do. You see, and then we put one like that, maybe. Might work. We can always bring in. We want that, and then there'll be like. Not what I want to do. Like that. And then we can just that's actually not the worst of my ideas. And we can be actually really super lazy about this. And we can even use like a little ramp as well. I do like it when I can use a ramp. Like that. Like that. And then let's test it out. It looks a bit of a mess, but I like the idea of using a bit of verticality in my designs. Have we got any wood lying around? No, we haven't got any wood lying around. Oh, maybe in my bag. No, I haven't. We'll just go and purchase some wood. I do need to think about how I'm going to get blue stamina potions, but all not the blue potions. I need to work on that as well. So this, just check it's all functioning, and then this is the first step in our design for getting. So this should just make a supply of charcoal, which is going to come out. Yeah. Then we will use one of these to fuel each element of the next level. So there'll be 3 of these stacked up when they're built. And there'll be a one to fuel the charcoal, one to do the iron. Oh no. One to make the coke, one to make the iron, one to create the steel, to fuel the steel. So this is going to be fueling this is like the fuel version. and it just runs off of this. And I like that. I think that looks all right. So we can just, and it's clearly working, so we can just blueprint it, copy it, clone it, like so. And that will be making us, that's all our charcoal for all the fuel lines. So this is basically the fuel. So the next step along the road is we're going to make the the iron, the coke, the island of coke. So let's get on and do the, I tell you what, let's do the iron. So we're going to bear in mind that the iron's going to be coming in from, the fuel for the iron creation is going to come in over here. Okay, so let us do that. So all we need to do is create iron here. So this shouldn't be too difficult. He says, does wisdom say, maybe we can get away with just using one at the front now. How much space do we need? Just not a lot. So we just go like that. And iron's gonna, so the fuel's gonna come in here, and we put it on these little platforms. So it's gonna come down from a lift. We cart it along here. We can't use it. I would like this to be all self-contained. That's fine. But I'd like to put a grinder in so we can grind up the iron ore. Like, the fuel's going to come along here. Goes in there. So that's the fuel for our iron sorted out. And then we need to just make the iron. So we're going to need a smelter. We want it outputting this way because I think all of my stuff's going that way. Right. And then we just need to fuel it, or we need to fuel it. Thank you. So we need to put in one of these bad boys. That'll be easy to get stuff into there. Like, it'll be easy to get the portal to let the iron go in there. Nice and clean, right? And then we need to just get the stuff here. Now, I don't know where we're going to output this to quite yet, but I've got an idea. Right, that's for that layer, and then we just need to get up top. Up the top, he says. With a double height one, and then we just need to go elevator. Flip that around. In there. Nope, not quite. Not quite tall enough. Right. Nope. What was I say? No, don't delete it all, lug. There we go. Right. Then we just need to put the lift there. Well, not a lift, the conveyor belt in there. So iron should be coming out there. Be fueled by that thing. So a fuel come in here, and we can just do this quickly as a little experiment to check everything's working. And then it'll be Obviously, this will be just not quite working like the way like this, but you understand the theory. It'll be all linked in together. These two, like that. And then we see some iron. Have we got any iron lying around? I don't know why I bother to look every time. Oh, is that iron? Excellent. Right, a chunk of iron ore in there. Why is that not working? Oh, you doofus, Ugh. Not iron. This will be effectively a supply portal, but I guess the principle is the same. There we go. And then we, just for the purposes of doing this, we just do one of these. We can introduce our iron ore in there. Right. And we just need to make our iron ore come out as well, by the way. That we. There we go. All right. It's working. As you can see. Glorious. And this will be iron ore. Dun, 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 dun. Right. So we get iron ore, and the iron ore will come out somewhere here. Where, how exactly it works, whether it comes out here, maybe it wouldn't go out there. Maybe that way. There we go. So that's the first bit made. Then we just need to make. I think what I'm going to do is a very similar scenario here. Can I do the same thing, but make coke? Maybe. Let's try it. Probably. So we just blueprint that. Do that. Like that. But instead of doing that, we... Oh no, because coke isn't made in these. It's made in Athens. Oh no, it is. Alright, it's not quite the same. So we just need to do very similar thing here, except okay, that's cool. So this is where we'll actually need a stone grinder, because this is where like it will come out here. Words, they are the hardest things. Not it. Coal will come out here. So coal will come out here. So I don't know why I did that. That's just weird. Like that. And it will go into crucibles at the top here to turn it into coke. So that. Or doesn't really matter how we get it there. That. Here. I haven't really worked out how the iron's going to get past this construction, but yeah, I'll work it out. It can maybe go up and across, but we can work that out in a bit. That's something to be done. And we need to crush that. And then we need to make these bad boys again. And then, as I said, it's going to come out there. And we can just replicate this thing like so. Replicate this. Draw this across here. No coal in that. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Now we see some coal. That's going to be turned into the coke because I'm not going to do it using charcoal because 6 charcoal for the chance of making 1 coke is just garbage. All right. So we put you in there. And then this one here. And like that. So this is the fuel for this. Charcoal is going to come all the way through here. Just let that make. Come on. There we go. And we get charcoal coming down here. Blah, blah. Obviously, I will get rid of this gap and it'll squish it up against there and it'll just be going straight down into the building. Now, it's probably not the most efficient way of doing this, but I don't care. It's just... We forgot a little bit of... Go on with that. What are you all doing there? How is that? Oh, that's why. I'm being an idiot. That's fine. It can come in the front. It can go in that way. There's plenty of ways. It can even go in like down there, or it can go along here. Doesn't matter. Right. Yeah, when I say it, I mean like the coal input from like the portal. So it doesn't matter. Right. I'll put that there just as a little minder. There. There we go. So this is coal. It goes into here. And it gets turned into... Then we end up with coke powder. And all is right with the world. So we're onto the almost onto the next step where we have to turn this into steel. So but I'm going to do it in the next episode because my head is hurting now. So right, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, it'd be great if you could like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that great stuff. It really does help out the channel, and I will see you for the next one where I'll probably still have an ear infection. So until then, yo ha.